in high definition. Central Coast News right now.
Take a look at this. Shoulder to shoulder travel worries across the U.S. as storms pass through on this, the busiest travel day of the year. This photo was shared on Twitter showing a packed Penn Station in New York City. The sheer number of people traveling combined with the weather is causing serious delays. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Cota-Robles. Jasmine is off tonight. We begin by looking at travel woes up and down the California coast from Los Angeles to San Francisco. We kick off our coverage with this report from the Bay Area.
Today, 63,000 passengers will be making their way with their holiday goods and carry-ons through San Francisco's terminals, and that's larger than your typical crowd here at SFO. As far as delays are concerned, we can take a look at the big board right now. Most of the flights here appear to be on time, except for a handful of flights to the East Coast. We're hearing delays up to 45 minutes to an hour. Airport officials are also warning travelers there are going to be longer lines here, so coming in about 2 hours earlier is your best bet. SFO also told us they anticipate 1.2 million travelers to be making their way through this airport throughout the entire Thanksgiving weekend. At SFO, Kate Kogirin, CBS News.
Here at LA International Airport, the day started with some clear traveler anxiety. Passengers worried that the weather woes on the East Coast could cause travel delays here arrived very early during the overnight hours before most TSA checkpoints could open. That led to long lines. Those have since cleared, with the airport now running rather smoothly for a holiday. Also here today is a clear law enforcement presence. LAX officials tell us that in light of the deadly shooting rampage here on November 1st, they understand some passengers may be jittery. They say they always have extra patrols here on bicycle, on foot, and in cars during the holidays. At LAX, Cara Finstrom for CBS News.
Highway 101 is the longest in California. It's also the busiest, and at any given holiday travel period, this is what you will have to deal with, and this will be the determining factor on whether you make it to your holiday destination. Almost like clockwork today, around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the California Highway Patrol website started getting busy, and we saw accidents pile up as people left work early to try to get to their destination. The California Highway Patrol says that they will be busy out in full force as they ramp up patrols to keep you safe on the roads, but they say the golden rule, take your time. Brooke Holmquist in Salinas, your Central Coast News.
Well, Brooke, thanks for that. And right now, a live look in Santa Cruz from the Caltrans camera. This is Highway 1 at Morrissey, and yep, lots of red lights. Millions of Americans are traveling by road this holiday weekend. Joining me now on the live line is Officer Sarah Jackson with the California Highway Patrol. Officer, first, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. You too.
How are the roads looking right now? We saw that live camera there at Morrissey and Highway 1. Granted, that's usually backed up. What's the game plan right now?
You know, it looks pretty much like that everywhere right now, and it was the same way yesterday evening as well. You know, people are beginning their holiday travels early, which is a smart idea, and as a result, you can probably expect delays pretty much wherever you go.
Sure. Now, how does CHP prepare for this, the busiest travel day? Do you do anything differently?
You know, operational-wise, no, we don't. We're out there providing the safety, service, and security as we always do. However, every available officer will be working from now, starting at 6 o'clock tonight officially, and then ending on December 6th is our maximum enforcement period for the holiday weekend.
And now, oftentimes, some of the trouble seen on Highway 17, how much focus goes into that highway?
Highway 17 definitely is the focus of a lot of attention. It's a very high priority highway for us as far as keeping people safe. You know, it is the corridor between our community here in Santa Cruz and the Greater Bay Area. And what we're telling people is pack your patience, take your time. You know, leave early, leave yourself plenty of time, and especially if the roadways get wet and bad weather ensues, you know, those delays are just going to get longer. So just plan ahead and go slow, stay sober, and wear your seatbelt, definitely.
All right, Officer Sarah Jackson with the California Highway Patrol. Thanks for the insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too. And from our Central Coast, we now move to the East Coast. We have our Norm Hoffman on standby to talk about what's next for the destructive winter storm that moved across the Midwest over to the south, then up the coast to the Northeast. But first, there is one holiday tradition that could be impacted by the weather: tomorrow's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The major concern right now is inflating the giant parade balloons and putting them in the air to ensure that parade goers are safe. No giant character balloon can be used when the sustained wind speed exceeds 23 miles per hour and when the wind gusts are in excess of 34 miles per hour. Keep in mind, the balloons have not been grounded since 1976.
This is kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing to come up and see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and to not see the balloons would be sad.
The kids should definitely have the opportunity to look at 2013 balloons tomorrow.
And so you're hopeful that
so I'm really hopeful that the weather will pull up.
What do you think, Norm? This is really the last concern lingering behind the storm. Will the winds cooperate?
Well, we're looking at some gusty northwest winds as this system moves out. Take a look. The storm system itself will track northeast and be into Canada by tomorrow morning. However, the cold northwest winds coming in behind that system will bring some gusty winds. Take a look. Thanksgiving Day forecast. Temperatures in the morning in the 20s, but up into the 30s in the afternoon. Northwest winds in the morning will be 15 to 25. That pushes the limit. With gusts to 35, that pushes the limit as well. So expect breezy and cold conditions tomorrow. However, if those winds do drop off and this storm moves off fast enough, the winds in the early morning hours will be low enough for them to blow up those balloons. So I'm hoping they make it, but it will be tight tomorrow morning. Mark?
Yeah, a lot of people hoping the same. Norm, thanks for that. The winter storm is being blamed for 11 deaths so far and hundreds of traffic accidents, especially in parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, where the snow is piling up. And as the night goes on, of course, we will keep you posted on the delays and cancellations at airports across the nation, as many of you are leaving town this evening. Which brings us now to John K. Brent. He is standing by with the website FlightAware and what it's calling its misery map. John, I love the name. Break it down. How does this thing work?
Well, talk about patience and packing your patience, Mark. This is an interactive map you can find from FlightAware. And this really, because it's called a misery map, we want to show you right here. These are some of the cancellations, about 552 cancellations all across the country right now. This particular map shows you all the major hubs of airports in the United States. Now, I want to take you to the West Coast first. Let's go over and just click on SFO. See, now you see all these green flights. There's no delays there, but the red heading up to Seattle, that shows you where there is a delay and where you got to pack your patience, hence the misery map. All right, let's go over to Atlanta right now and just take a look. Atlanta's a major hub. There are a lot of delays, a lot of red coming off of Atlanta, so if you're connecting in Atlanta, you're going to find some misery there. Let's head up to the eastern seaboard. You'll see where the radar is. Norm was just talking about that storm right there. That is pushing off to the north, but as you can see, all the red from those folks who want to come out here to the West Coast, they're going to find a lot of misery. So if you want to find this interactive map, we've got a link for this right there on our website, KIONrightnow.com. It's called FlightAware Misery Map, and might want to check this before you head on out. Mark, back to you.
John, thanks for that. For instant coverage on all of this, head to KIONrightnow.com. Plus, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. On to more local news this evening. A motorcyclist was flown out by a CalStar helicopter after crashing in Seaside this afternoon. Our producer was there on scene to record this eye coverage. It happened around 1 p.m. The motorcyclist was at the intersection of Olympia and San Lucas and may have rolled in front of a passing car. The man flew off his bike for about 15 feet. He had several broken bones and was not conscious. Police say he was wearing a helmet. New information on a case of financial elder abuse in Monterey County. Sandy Palmer Larkin has been sentenced to 120 days in jail and 3 years probation. Larkin was responsible for paying the bills for an elderly victim, a person she had known for a long time. She wrote her own paychecks, often for more than she really earned. Nearly $9,000 was paid back to the victim. Monterey police, meantime, arresting 8 people over the past few days, all in connection with burglaries and narcotics. Police say some of these suspects allegedly robbed homes in Carmel Valley and businesses in Monterey. For more information about each person seen right here on your screen, just visit KIONrightnow.com. You'll see the story on the homepage. There is a new team member at the Monterey County District Attorney's Office, and this one, well, isn't your typical investigator, but on command, she can help with some of the biggest cases around. Central Coast News reporter Jacqueline Twala joining me now here on the desk. So tell us about this new investigator.
Well, her name is Odile. She goes by Odie, and she's basically a comfort dog. So what she does is she's been training for 2 years, and she helps ease the minds of victims and of witnesses so that they can speak out and investigators can get to the bottom of cases. This is how Odie comforts victims and witnesses during the most traumatic situations. On command, the 2-year-old Labrador Golden Retriever mix just melts into your arms.
And take that person away from whatever tragedy that they endured or witnessed, and it brings it right down to the simple things of life.
Monterey County Supervising District Attorney Investigator Ryan McGurk is Odie's handler. His courthouse facility canine is the only dog on the Central Coast. She's been specifically trained for the last 2 years to support children and other vulnerable people. The county got the dog for free from a nonprofit that trains dogs like this. Monterey County will only pay for her food and vet care. In the 3 weeks she's been with the DA's office, she's already helped half a dozen people. She helps to ease their mind so they can be in a better state to describe an event to a judge or a jury.
It is stressful. It is difficult. So we understand that, and we have to try to deal with that, work with those victims, work with those witnesses, and get them basically calmed down.
It makes them comfortable with us, and that's important because we are the ones, as an advocate, going to court with them, sort of helping them through the system.
So right now, Odie will be working with investigators in the victims unit to help them do interviews, but at some point, Dean Flippo does want to bring her into the courts, but of course they will need some approval for that first.
And again, right now, Odie is the only dog on the Central Coast doing this type of work. What about the state?
In the state, she is the 6th facility canine in the entire state, and in the nation, there are 52 courthouse canines in 21 states.
All right.
Becoming very popular.
Neat story. Jacqueline, thanks. Well, here at Central Coast News, we are gearing up for Project Santa. This is video from last year's event. We just love doing this each and every year. Foster children in Monterey, Santa Cruz, and San Benito counties will benefit from Project Santa's efforts and your generosity to provide them with gifts this holiday season. The phone lines are not open yet. They will be open next week during the news at 5 and 6 o'clock, and toy drop-offs will begin the week after that. Coats for Kids is back as well. For the past few years, Central Coast News has teamed up with Classic Vapor Cleaners to make sure kids across the Central Coast stay warm this winter. The goal is 10,000 coats. We are already up to 6,000. You can donate at any Classic Vapor Cleaners location until December 13th. All the information online, and remember, please no red or blue coats this year. A reminder, our 10 p.m. newscast is moving. Beginning this Sunday, Central Coast News will no longer air on KCBA, the Fox affiliate. Instead, you could watch the 10 p.m. news on the CW. Keep in mind, this does not affect Central Coast News at 5, 6, or 11. Those will stay right here on KION. The CW, if you want to watch, Comcast Channel 14, Charter Channel 13, Sudden Link Channel 4, and over-the-air Channel 46.2. For more information about the move and how to find the CW, just visit KIONrightnow.com. A link with all the information is posted right there on the homepage. Still to come this evening, tensions growing in China after the country says U.S. bombers flew over their declared airspace. Plus, the president pardons 2 very lucky birds. Where they're headed from here.
This is Central Coast News, now in high definition.